Hey, look, we're in a new spot. How about that? Oh, you're adjusting his mic there?
Yes.
We did it. We made it to the big times. We have literally shifted our cameras maybe 3 feet, and we are recording in the brick wall room now.
Sweet set you guys set up.
But we have new microphones, so we don't sound terrible now.
They're beautiful.
We have graduated from our loud, ugly office to a beautiful, well-lit back
studio apartment
alley.
in New York.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the set of Friends right now.
Exposed brick, baby.
So welcome back. This is AMA, not Q&A. I don't know how many times we have to explain that. This will hopefully be the last time. Welcome,
we got Joel.
We have Joel, special guest Joel Rubin.
Guys, it's so exciting.
I would call you an unsung hero of Machinima, but we all know that you, in fact, love singing.
Yes.
I am my own sung hero.
Yeah. You're a young sung hero.
And I'm only the third guest on the show, right?
Yeah.
There's Spool,
Number
and then
3.
Adam, and then me.
Yeah. You're third best.
This is so exciting.
You were the only one left in the office today when we decided to record this.
Yeah, we do it late.
Annalisa was out there. Our receptionist was out. Our HR specialist and administrative associate.
I don't know the lingo. There's a lot of broads in this office. A lot of
I
skirts
don't know
running around.
anything. I don't know anything about that. But let's get started. I'll start with the first one here. This comes from Matthias87. What kind of music do you guys listen to? We all know Joel's answer, but why don't you just say it for us?
I listen to a lot of different kinds of music.
Bullshit!
Obviously,
Musicals
Broadway,
only.
Musicals. I listen to a lot of jazz. I listen to a lot of classical. And I also have, I like Pandora more than Spotify because I like to discover bands that I don't have a broad knowledge of a lot of contemporary music band combos.
Okay.
So I like to listen to a lot of Pandora, and I've got stations set up for different current music genre, or people that I know that are very different genres that sort of point me in different directions.
So, out of the Coachella lineup that was recently announced,
Didn't
which
look
ones
at
are
it.
you excited about?
Steely Dan.
Yeah, all
too.
right. That's what we're all excited
I
for.
would be most
Steely
excited
Dan.
to see Steely Dan.
You know, it's funny because I saw a ton of Twitter uproar, what the fuck? Why Steely Dan? Why
Are you kidding?
Why does he belong
Why not?
at Coachella?
Because
Why
they're
not?
great. Because they're masters of classic rock.
I will argue, and I said this online, but I will argue that the Stagecoach lineup, which is technically Coachella Weekend 3 for Rednecks, is a much better lineup because it involves ZZ Top.
Wait, can we pull it up?
Go ahead.
Or do you know it?
George Thorogood.
George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Yeah. ZZ Top. Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
The Oak Ridge Boys. Just a cavalcade of.
Put on your best pair of boots.
Yeah, and
and
head
get
out
out
there.
there to the polo grounds at Coachella.
And since we're talking about this, me and Elliot this is one of our favorite stats of all time, is that Coachella attracts a certain type of person.
Right.
So does Stagecoach. Coachella being mainstream music or indie music or whatever, and Stagecoach being basically rednecks or white trash.
And just to clarify, there's 2 weekends of Coachella, and then the third weekend is Stagecoach.
So the stat last year was in 2 weekends of Coachella versus
Greg Allman?
Yes.
Almond.
Yeah, he's delicious.
Greg Allman?
Versus 1 weekend of Stagecoach, there were more crimes committed and police
more
activity and more arrests in 1 weekend of Stagecoach than the entire Coachella Festival, which is 2 weekends
It's the
long.
old Molly and Blow versus meth
just
and
absolutely
crack.
drunk off their asses and high on meth. Lots more fights.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There are a lot of total babes in the Stagecoach lineup, too.
And there's babes in the crowd,
Yeah.
too.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Exactly. I don't think there's any Florida Georgia line.
I think I'd have a real good chance at Stagecoach.
Tim McGraw. I love Tim McGraw. I'm an Indian outlaw. Half Cherokee and Choctaw. Baby, she's a Chippewa.
As kind of the only redneck at Machinima, I feel like I'd have a chance at Stagecoach.
You're not the only redneck. I grew up in Florida, motherfucker.
You guys are
Yes.
both the only rednecks at Machinima.
You're not it's not southern though.
You're
farther
you're
south
more
than you.
you're more French.
No. The further south you get in Florida, the
I've
further
heard
culturally
the-
north you get.
No, yeah, it's the further north in Florida, the further south you get.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I've heard that old adage.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm
an
in the
old
middle
adage?
of
Ben
Florida.
Franklin said that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. That was put his bifocals on and
And the further south one goes in the state of Florida,
The more French whores you find.
there's a whole nother civil war that's gonna happen down there between the north and south of Florida. But it's opposite.
All right, so what kind of music do y'all listen to?
I listen to, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
I don't know, I listen to a lot of stuff. I guess when I was growing up, it was mostly classic rock. My dad was really into Beatles, Zeppelin, Stones, and stuff like that. So that
The Beatles are not rock.
they have rock songs.
They're like the Backstreet Boys of the 60s.
Helter Skelter, the White Album. There's some dark stuff
Whatever.
on there.
They're rock. They're rock.
Rock and roll, I guess. Anyway, so that's my foundation. And then when I was in high school, I got really into punk music. I don't listen to any of that anymore. And I guess top picks for today. Probably favorite band would have to be Spoon. Or
Spoon.
I was really into Wilco, but their last 3 albums haven't really been my
You're
cup
such
of
a
tea.
hipster. You could just say that about. Let's just. Elliot's answer for every band is love their first album. They really fell apart after that.
No. Well, a lot of bands, that's not the case. Like Radiohead keeps getting better, although that's another hipster album.
Yeah.
Every Radiohead album
That's
is
not hipster at all.
better for me.
I mean, in fact, liking Radiohead is the most common thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pretty common.
Yeah.
But everyone is always like, why can't they just keep making music like they did on OK Computer back in
All British people say
1997?
that.
I
Yeah.
guess.
And American people just say it like
Yeah.
that.
So I mean,
In
yes.
Rainbows was great.
Short answer, I like a lot of like indie stuff, but I also like a lot of like classic rock, and I like the EDM stuff, but
The EDM.
I like the
like
electronic
EDM.
music, but
Wait.
just in moderate amounts.
As
Yeah.
you've gotten older, have your tastes in music, like you say, like you used to like punk and you don't anymore, has it like softened? You like more melodic, tuneful melodies?
No, I wouldn't say that.
You've pussed out?
No,
Yeah,
I think you can just tell the
I
difference
just found
between
the place.
like really basic music and stuff that's actually sonically pleasing.
Yeah.
Because the punk is a lot of just like 3 chords and different kind of
Yeah, and there's
Patterns.
still punk that I like. Like I love
Yeah.
Misfits.
well stuff that you grew up with. Like I love Punk and Drublick, NoFX.
Yeah.
Pennywise, Full Circle.
I was super
There's
into Pennywise.
tons of albums that were fantastic that I'll still go back and listen to. But what like if it was released now, and I had no
like,
prior knowledge of
what
it, I'd be
the
like,
fuck is
get this out of my
To
head.
me, there's a lot of music, including like metal, like death metal and punk rock, that is I don't like at all.
Yeah.
But I understand the importance of artistically, and I
Yeah.
appreciate the
And
fact
culturally.
that it's,
Yeah.
and culturally, and like
Black metal was very important in Norway.
and it's like, I kind of like black metal because it's just so gothic. Like
Yeah.
that's cool to me.
Straightforward. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I kind of
Just
like that.
burning
actually.
down churches and
Yeah.
committing murders and
Sailing
taking
the-
pictures of your dead friend and making an album cover.
Nice.
Why
True
not?
stories.
Yeah, that's mayhem.
Now you know.
I grew up like pretty much the same. My dad got me into classic rock, all the great stuff except for like the Beatles and stuff like that. He wasn't really into that, so nor was I until I got my own taste, which I do like the Beatles. But 90s, same thing. I think it's just the age that we grew up in. Very, very punk heavy.
Yeah, that was like the decade, the late 90s. Everyone
and then
was
fucking
into
like all these pop punk bands came along and ruined it. I do love some of them. I have a very big place in my heart for Newfound Glory and Blink-182, but I moved more into I moved into a more like straight up hardcore stuff, like just anything I could go and mosh at, like straight edge hardcore bands.
But that became like
stuff-
your lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
your
I was listening to
job.
like Throwdown, Bane, Earth Crisis, like all these like fucking
You're just
hardcore
saying
bands.
names of in the hope that like one audience member's like, yeah, fuck yeah, Earth
Yeah,
Crisis.
Earth Crisis, bro. I knew this guy was cool.
Yeah. No, and then like a lot of like Florida screamo stuff, and then
North or South Florida scream.
all over Florida, man. South Florida was the most violent for their straight edge bands, and like Glass Eater, I think was one of them.
Oh, sounds violent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, and then obviously like I like all kinds of music. I was really into like fucking crazy death metal and shit like that, and then got into EDM just like kind of everyone else did, listening to like Aphex Twin and Square Pusher,
The early stuff.
and stuff like that, and that kind of like led me into. I think when I started like, dubstep came around. The crazy American dubstep came around in like 2009, 2010, and I think what resonated with me so much with that, and for a lot of people as well, is dubstep was the EDM. Dubstep is to EDM as like nu metal was in the 90s to rock music, where it was like they're taking this medium of music and making it just the heaviest, craziest thing it could possibly ever be, and that is really pleasing to my ears. It was basically like heavy metal breakdowns, but with bass instead of shredding guitar.
I'm going to sound like a 33-year-old person who doesn't listen to music. I can't tell the difference. It's so confusing, all the different sub genres.
It's all just about BPMs.
Not even EDM, like just electronic music.
Yeah, no,
There's so many different sub.
it relies on like the BPM and I guess just the overall.
They're all very narrow genres.
squeak.
You know,
chorus,
you
what
know
I
it's a
love.
trap song when there's a snare roll with a really simple bass drum.
I looked up trap on Wikipedia.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to find out what the the etymology of the word
Dirty
trap.
South hip hop is what.
Yeah.
No.
A dead giveaway if it's a trap song is if an old man comes on and asks you where you found this.
Yeah, or
Oh, yeah.
a youthful man yells, "What?
Yeah.
What?"
So I have a theory. get back to the most over-talked about band in the history of the world, which is the Beatles, is that the Beatles is to music what Friends is to a sitcom, in that it's
accessible.
It's accessible, and it's so ubiquitous as to be able to say like, oh, fuck them, like I'm so sick of them. But then if you sit down and watch a single episode of Friends, you realize why it's the most again. I'm not the biggest Friends fan in the world. It's a perfect sitcom. It's a perfect sitcom. It's perfectly crafted comedy, and in the same way that like Beatles is ubiquitous, you hear it on commercials, you hear it on the radio, like you're sick of hearing it. You've heard it but like when you hear, like when you sit down and actively listen to the song, you're like, fucking hell, that's a crafted song. That's a beautifully crafted song.
The whole reason behind that is that they, from like age 15, were playing Long Day of Work there. From like the age of 15, the Beatles were playing like 4 hours of live music every day for like 5 straight years. Yeah. So they just like racked up hours. They learned thousands of songs.
All I can say is I think that the Beatles are really going to take off now that Kanye West
he really opened the door for Paul McCartney.
Like he's done a great thing for that small artist.
Who is Paul McCarthy? Is that Jesse McCarthy?
You guys want to let's move on to that. We could sit here and talk about the music thing all day. So
too open-ended. Be more specific next time.
Yeah. Gerard, are you saying the people's names?
Yeah.
Gerard Bernard asks, "What's the one person or topic you guys just dread on reporting on?" First, just dread reporting on.
I'd say that today was a pretty rough one. Anytime we have to report on like real life news, because like as we said in the episode, it's kind of our show's kind of an escape from the shitty reality and into more of like stuff that you like movies and TV and stuff. And we had to report on the terrorist attack in France today. I know you're watching this on Sunday or whatever, but it was
Yeah, so like with stuff like that, a lot of bad shit happens all the time. Like there was that whole thing in Pakistan in December that's like just the most horrifying thing I've ever read about. We don't talk about that because it's not entertainment news, but in this case it was a bunch of journalists who make satirical content who were murdered for doing that. Yeah. Like that hits kind of close to home because that's sort of what we do. We don't go after like the Prophet Muhammad, but
we're not doing anything incredibly political aside from our
Kim Jong-un
Kim Jong-un coverage.
But it's just like I woke up this morning and opened up Feedly like I do every morning, and like that was the top one. I was just like, oh, fuck.
It's a bummer to wake up and see stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was like, do we talk about this? Do we not? And it's like I just could not get it out of my head for my whole drive to work. It's like we have to address this.
On an entertainment side, I would say, I kind of like. When we have to report on something over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because little bits leak out more and more, it kind of gets old after a while. But aside from that, like I don't know, everything's like usually pretty dynamic and fun, or we can make it into something that's different. But I hate getting drip-fed stuff, and I think people hate getting drip-fed stuff from us too. So it's like,
I think that there is like fatigue for certain topics. For me, it's
like who did win, Xbox or PS4 overall for the
World Championship? We'll have to check on
consoles.
IG for tomorrow.
Yeah,
and also
be a brand new episode of
and then
Xbox
Wednesday, and then
versus PS4.
The fight continues.
Yeah,
I hate reporting on. Lizard Squad now that after they hacked our website, but also I hate. We don't report on Gamergate. Like we just are not talking about it because it's fucking stupid. Yeah, and anyone who's talking about Gamergate is
you can never take a stand on it either because the whole thing's a mess. No one knows what the actual like message is.
Everyone involved in that is just annoying.
It's like the idea that this whole thing is about ethics and games journalism is retarded. Yeah. There is no games journalism. It doesn't exist. It's a fantasy created by like the publishing outlets to cover the fact that they're all funded by video games.
It's
like,
the same thing with entertainment journalism, unless you're like TMZ, who's literally vicious for going after and making stories.
Which is not journalism. It's
paparazzi. Journalism, I think, is a more respectable career than anything we do. So I don't even want to say that I'm in any way related to it.
I mean, I guess you could say that what we do is journalism, but it's not
on some things that we do in the
channel.
But
we're not doing primary source journalism, which is a completely different thing. And like that's what I consider journalism.
We're reporting.
Yeah. I mean, we're doing opinion-based, like topical news. It's not, and again, it's not journalism.
It's the same way.
Nowhere in the same neighborhood.
John Oliver and Jon Stewart aren't journalists; they're commentators and social critics.
And they say that, and people are like, "Yeah, you're funny, but you are journalists." And they're like, "No, like we're not saying that to be funny. We're not journalists. We're not journalists, guys."
Yeah. And it's also like, if you really want to go deep into it, like half the websites on the internet that report news aren't doing journalism either because they're just
regurgitating press releases.
Yeah, it's just link to this, link to this, link to this.
When I look at other like video game or even entertainment news shows, we all get press releases. When we are media, and so we go to PAX and we go to Comic-Con and all these different conventions. And when you go to these conventions, you have to give them your email address because you're media. And when those conventions give your email address to a lot of different
that sucks.
outlets.
I've gotten 100 CES emails.
Yeah, it's
So-
check out our new product.
Right, and exactly. So when you watch news shows, as somebody who gets these press releases, like, all right, so you're reading the Paramount release today, you're reading the Microsoft release, and you can just spot them because they actually pull words from the press release.
All right, let's move on. Even
Gang.
though we didn't really, I guess we answered that one.
Yeah.
Moose Gang 52 asks, which YouTube channels do you absolutely hate? Oof. I don't know if I can really. A lot of the ones I hate are the obvious targets, but I don't want to go out there and say it.
I'll go out there and say it. I definitely have a vendetta against channels that put up something that you think you're getting something else, and it is absolutely not that at all. And listen, it is a constant struggle for us especially because just the way that our channel works is you gotta make sure that the people will click on the thumbnail and the title and stuff like that. But what we do with our videos is give you information about what we're talking about. When I see a video that's baby gets hit in the face with a baseball bat, I want to see a baby getting hit in the face with a baseball bat, all right?
I hate YouTube channels that try to replicate what somebody else has done when there's no real interest or passion in doing that.
Yeah.
So especially during the early days of Let's Plays, when you saw CNNer's channel doing Minecraft Let's Plays, and everybody else did the same. All right, well, I'm starting this new game, Minecraft, and I'm that. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Where they do the same voice and sort of personality. Yeah.
Hello,
you see a lot of fake
everyone.
PewDiePies and shit. I'll come out and say my answer. I don't think I'm ever gonna see these people. The Fine Brothers. I'm happy for them. Good for them. They found an idea and made a fuckload of money off of it. But I think React videos are the dumbest thing in the world. I think they're right there with reply videos, which if you're
I remember when reply videos were huge on YouTube.
Yeah, if you're younger than 10 years old, you don't even remember that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a fucking lazy medium, and it's just a fucking dead horse that they keep dragging through the street and making more and more money off of somehow.
Yeah, I mean, of all of them, they do the best ones.
Sure.
And
well, that's because if you do it now, they'll just go after you because you're ripping their idea off.
Right.
Which
It's not an idea though.
it's just react.
right,
It's
just
just
people watching something.
You guys ripped off question and answers.
no, we didn't. This is called AMA.
Moving on.
But anyway,
And also, I hate Vine compilation channels.
well, yeah. We tried to do that and we got struck.
Yeah, that's why I hate them. Because we couldn't do it. All right, moving on to Chaos5338. He asks, what is your best New Year's Eve party that you can remember?
Oh,
Man.
There's not a lot that I can remember.
Yeah, they're all pretty hazy.
I
know the worst one.
That's exactly what I was going to do, but go first. Yeah, I know my worst one.
Yeah, the worst one definitely sticks out. So yeah, it was at a rooftop hotel. My friend got a hotel room somewhere in downtown LA, and I ended up eating an edible and then forgetting that I ate the edible, because I ate it earlier in the night, and then was drinking and doing shots and stuff, and somehow got horrifically bad food poisoning and was having to either vomit or shit every 5 minutes for about 4 hours.
Great.
And I was just pale and just looked like a dead person.
Wow.
Worst New Year's ever.
My best New Year's Eve party. I haven't done crazy shit on New Year's. I like hanging out with my friends and doing very pretty much low key stuff. Although we drink a lot. But probably my best one was it was the winter of my
Discontent?
freshman or sophomore year in college, and I was still going back to Baton Rouge, and all of my high school my small dorky clique of high school friends were there, and we were staying at we were overnight at my friend's house, and he had a pool, and we got super drunk. And this girl that I had a crush on, one of my super good friends that I had a crush on, dared us all to go skinny dipping. So we went skinny dipping, and then
Ooh la la.
we didn't even make out. We kissed just a little bit, and I was
Wait, with your
"You're
dude
naked?"
friends?
No, with my female friend that I had a huge crush on.
Were you naked at the time?
No, we weren't.
Oh.
But I got to see her boobies for the first time.
Yeah, because if you're naked, you most certainly have a boner at such a young age.
That's still in the hard drive.
No, because
right?
I had taken art classes and I knew to separate seeing nudity.
I have
from
no
being
control
in
over what
sex
goes on down there.
situations. But
Whenever
it
I
was
see a
great.
movie where someone has to do a sex scene, I'm like, do they tape it down? because I would be rock hard.
I hear they
You want
get
to
drunk.
find out right now?
No.
Okay.
I hear they get drunk so that it's harder to.
There's the stuff they give in prisons called like soft Peter. So
Yeah.
You can't get a boner. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know.
never heard
So yeah, I can't remember like a best one, but I remember my worst, and here it is, and it's a bit dark.
Oh, I think okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we were on tour, and so there's a ton of people. Like any night after a show, there's a bunch of people hanging out and stuff like that. And it was New Year's Eve or whatever. I remember me and my friend Chris had a handle of Jameson, just chugging this thing to the point of pretty much blacking out. And I called my parents to wish them a Happy New Year, and when I got on the phone with them, I was obviously just like, hey, Happy New Year, blah, blah. And in a nicer way than how I'm gonna describe it here, they basically said, the dog that you grew up with, Buddy, has been sick for months now, and we're taking him to be put down tomorrow. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, and I have so many friends that like, cause everyone was there, and like everyone always tells this like story, and it's the worst story in the world. And it was like, I fucking dropped in the street and just started bawling my eyes out and screaming sweet, and like just like, and the worst part, this is the worst fucking part of all, I'm just bawling my eyes out crying. We were in St. Pete, Florida on tour, and I was 30 minutes from my parents' house. I could have gone home and seen my dog if I had an hour and 10 minutes. And our bus call was like 30 minutes from the time I found out. So I was literally like within arm's reach of seeing my dog one last time. And I hadn't gone home on that tour, so I hadn't seen it for months, ever since it started getting sick. So I didn't get to see it. I was dying. I fucking got put on the bus. I drank myself to sleep. I didn't talk to my parents for a month because of that, because I felt that they like fucked me up from that.
Oh.
And I didn't talk to them for a month. I get off that tour. I go home, knock on the door. Hello, family. The dog comes running out of the house. It is completely fine at this point. It's not completely fine. It was still really sick, but the dog was fucking alive, and they never told me that they didn't take it to get put down.
Wow.
And it was like because my dad just didn't want to let go or something like that, but they never told me that it was alive. I came home to find my dog alive, and my brain was just, I couldn't concentrate on anything. And they ended up putting him down like 2 months later, but I got to see my fucking dog.
Oh, that's good.
But that's the craziest New Year's.
That had to be so confusing.
It was terrible. I was miserable for days because of it.
Next question. Terciable asks, do negative comments on your videos have a big effect on you? How do you handle those negative comments?
I wouldn't say they have a big effect, but they're definitely like...
They're like flies. It's just like annoying.
I think it was a lot worse when I first, like not even at Machinima, when I first was putting YouTube videos up before I even got here, like I took everything way too much to heart.
Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit. I'll like, if I see a bad comment, I'm just like, whatever. But I mean, some of them...
I mean, it is valid that you should chop off your penis and shove it in your own mouth and use that to asphyxiate yourself.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a valid
good criticism.
complaint, I
It's
think.
constructive.
Yeah.
No, I recently discovered that I could easily, from the console of the Machinima ETC account, ban people. And,
Such a good feeling. It
and-
feels so powerful.
Yeah, just like
I
on
won't
my
do it.
phone, just like,
Ban.
see ya.
Ban.
I will not do that. I don't think I've ever banned someone.
I've banned,
good cop,
I've
bad
banned
cop.
so many
Yeah.
people in the last like 6 or 8 weeks.
Freedom, baby. Say
But
whatever you want.
Not for like petty things. I'd only do it if they were
If they're Naruto.
if they were basically trying to be a Naruto and like derail the whole comment thread by like baiting
Naruto.
people with shitty comments, and then also ones where just straight up like hate speech was
Yeah,
used.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, all right, get out of here.
Yeah, that's fair.
The rest of them, it's like, whatever. I don't care.
I'm barely on camera anyway, so
I will say that
don't make fun of me, guys.
like anything online, there's always comments are always going to skew negative because you're more inclined to write something when you're pissed off than you
Yeah.
are if you're happy. So having said that, it always feels good to read things that are positive.
Yeah, there's the positive
So-
things make you feel a lot better. The negative ones, you just kind of blow past them. And
Yeah.
and at this point, it's like I'm like numb to it.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you ever put any kind of weight into what these people are saying? You don't even know who this person is, and even if he was someone that you would consider someone that you would respect, why would it matter to you anyway? And it probably isn't someone that you would respect. So what does it matter?
The only time negative comment, like when I pay attention to negative comments on a video, is if a video has an inordinate number of dislikes, because then it's not a vocal minority. Then it's like, all right, so what is wrong with this video?
Yeah. I just always picture like walking down the street someday and having one of those negative people like see me and just be like, that fucking.
But you know what would really happen is that person would see you and be like, hey, I'm a big fan. Yeah. Love watching your show.
They are, because that's why they watch and comment.
I mean, I don't really, whatever.
You don't watch shit I mean, you don't watch it. You don't
but
watch.
There, I have noticed a few users going on multiple videos just to like talk shit. And I'm just like, this is a weird, like there's
Weird
a whole
subculture
YouTube out there
of-
for you to watch, and you're choosing to continue to go to a channel you say you don't like. I don't get that.
All right, Edwin City wants to know, what did you do over the break?
Nothing.
Yeah, I slept all day, woke up to eat food, and went back to sleep.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
I watched a ton of movies.
Sleep
I
all
watched a
day,
ton of movies.
party all night, never grow old.
Yes, that's a great answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I did almost nothing. A lot of sleep, a lot of TV
A lot of video
and movies.
games I played.
I went to a lot of breweries. I'm from down in Orange County, and somehow in the last like 10 years since I left, it's become cool. And now there's like 25
not
different
cool at all.
breweries.
It's not cool down there.
Well, the beer scene's at least pretty good.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So I went to like 5 or 6 of those.
Was one of them called Chili's?
No.
Because that's where I went. That's where
I think they have one of
I
those.
did the opposite. I went north to I went on an overnight trip to Santa Barbara, and we drank a shitload of wine. Like we drank so much wine, and we bought a shitload of wine, and that was fun. And then everything else was like sleeping and doing nothing. And I started watching Breaking Bad.
Welcome to the party.
I only went to one rave the whole break. I saw Pixel Boys, What's So Not, Maddyon, Dioro. Are these words making sense to you, Joel?
I've seen Maddyon.
Yeah, he's great.
Isn't he like a little boy?
He's like 19 now, probably.
No. Joel, answer me this. Do you find that the whole like wine country thing is like sort of like a bait and switch where like they get you drunk and then you're just like, yeah, I'll buy all these bottles. Like,
it used to be before I started dating someone who knows a lot about wine and whose family, like who's
You're too nice.
her dad.
Oh, fuck, never mind.
My girlfriend's dad is like super wine person, and so they know a ton, and so it's really nice to go now and not get tricked by it and have her be like,
I'm not saying as a trick.
this is swill.
Like I when I go there, I just get drunk, and then I'm more inclined to spend money.
No.
And so I always come home, and I'm like, I just bought 15 bottles of wine and spent like $300. I mean,
Now
it's
I can't
great.
go out for the rest of the month.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually a pretty good price. But no, I did that a lot too, where I would go and I'd buy stuff that I didn't love because I was like a little drunk and like, well, I'm here. I should.
Are you a
get it.
sommelier? Is that how you say it?
Sommelier?
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 Sommelier. Is that what you are?
Sommelier.
Yes. Reeks of oak barrels. I can't have it.
Is bootleg hooch available for the tasting? That's what I like.
Bootleg hooch.
Bootleg hooch.
Oh, me and Elliot are gonna get to try some local bootleg hooch very soon.
Yeah, some
In a faraway land
some
that I don't think we're allowed to talk about.
Yeah,
yet.
we're not.
No, that's very exciting. I'm very excited.
Yeah,
for you.
I'm excited.
I'm jealous, actually.
Never thought I'd go there, but you'll find out very soon.
That's how I thought about Iceland when I was invited.
It's not Iceland.
I know it's not Iceland, but that's
It
how I
is
thought about
Iceland.
Iceland when I was invited to go to Iceland. Was like,
Yeah. Oh, you get to have the White Death or
Cool.
whatever it's called.
Brennivin.
Brennivin, yeah.
Ah, so
Which I
good.
still haven't tried.
Oh man, it tastes like caraway seeds and despair.
Is it worse than absinthe?
Well, it depends. I mean,
absinthe's great.
Can be good.
I do not like the taste of that.
Brennivin.
We gotta wrap this up, Joel.
Brennivin is a shot. Brennivin is a drink that every subsequent one, the first one you're like, that's not bad. The second one, that burns.
Oh, it gets
The third one's
worse?
like, yeah, it gets worse each one.
That doesn't make any sense. It's the opposite of how it works.
All right, do it.
Final question.
Singleds.
Singleds asks, what were the high and low points of your life?
I think I already hit the low point earlier in the episode.
Low point would be the period immediately following college when the baby boomer generation's like, I bought a house like the day I turned 23. Why can't you like go and make your own life? And it's like, it's 2009. All of the banks just collapsed.
Yeah.
There are no jobs. I have to pay $700 to Sally Mae every month, and I don't have any money coming in.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Baby boomers are the worst. They're the most selfish generation.
Fuck you, baby boomers. Baby boomers.
Baby boomers.
Bamboozled
by baby boomers.
Mine was I was living in Valdosta, Georgia. Off tour, nothing going on, just playing Guitar Hero every night.
Yeah.
Living in one of the worst places in the entire world, Valdosta, Georgia. It's about 15 miles north of the Florida-Georgia line. And it is just, we went to the same bar every night, and it was terrible. And it was to the point, I was the breaking point. I literally go, I have to go back to LA and give it another shot because I am going to die here. If
This is a high point for you.
This is the low point, of course. But I literally like went to the bank, got a loan for $1,000, bought a plane ticket back to LA, and crashed on the couch until this is my second time back in LA.
You have a job
Got
now.
and now I'm at the high point. Like, honestly, I'm at the high point of my life.
I would agree with that, actually. Like, this is, I have more shit figured out now than I ever have in the past.
I had some high points on tour, but like in retrospect, they were not as satisfying as having a constant, successful.
Right. There's high points throughout your life, but that's just because you're ignorant of
of what a real high point is.
Yeah, but I also think that like some of those high points, like, look, I am fantastically happy right now for the most part. Like, I'm living with the girlfriend that I love, and she moved in November, and like I've got a like fairly stable, normal life, and that's all. Like, it sounds boring, but it's incredibly like fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
But like, don't get me wrong. Some high points in my life include like traveling by myself to New Zealand and having a threesome with two like with like a rocker chick and a like cosplayer, and
all right.
When I went to England and Scotland with Brett from Realm and drank shitloads of
have you ever had a threesome?
Scottish more.
No.
You haven't had a threesome?
Well, fuck you guys.
We've had a lot more high points, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I'm at the low point now.
My low point was absolutely like falling desperately in love with this girl in New York, and
I've
like
had lots of those.
Having like just the most fantastic like visiting weekend, and like being both of us absolutely in love. A week later, having her say, I can't handle the long distance. I'm getting back together with my ex-boyfriend. And it just like destroyed me.
There's been a lot of highs into like soaring highs into crushing lows with relationships and girls. So it's
Fucking
like
chicks.
Yeah, chicks, dude.
Fucking chicks, high points and low points.
Fucking chicks, yeah.
That phrase is high points and low
Well,
points.
I'd like
There it
to
is.
say that to end this threesome aside, this is the best threesome I've had in recent memory. So thanks for joining us, Joel.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
That's enough.
I understand.
Thanks for joining us, guys. If
Thanks
you
for
made it,
having me
if you
on.
made it this far, thanks for watching.
Yeah, this is a long one.
Yeah, this is like a long one.
Doozy.
So yeah, thanks, guys. See you soon.
Yeah.